big burly bear of a dude at the thought that his beloved Constitution was actually going to be respected by a politician that he could actually vote for, who actually had a chance of winning. And he goes, buddy, if everything you're telling me is true, I'll totally vote for this guy. And he was thanking me for coming by. And he apologized. He goes, really sorry for giving you such a hard time before. And I was like, hey man, I understand. You know, never be, you always have to be magnanimous. I understand, you know, you guys are probably getting inundated all the time with, you know, this time of the year, with every 4 years with politics and everything. I don't even know how you put up with it. And, you know, the guy was completely appreciative. He is sold. That dude is locked down. And he was not a voter. So you just took somebody who was out of the system, brought him back into the system, into the political process, and got a vote for Ron Paul. And he's going to tell his friends. You know he's going to tell anybody that owns a gun.
That's excellent. So you have the group, people that aren't likely voters. What other groups are difficult? They tend to be, you know, people that, for example, let's say someone that they want to brush you off, and how do you take them back and lead them back by the hand, basically, so that you can get the message across to them? Let's say you knock on somebody's door and they look at you, and a lot of people, when they look at you, they have kind of a, they're trying to figure out what's going on. Why they want to know why you're at their door, and they want to make sure that you're not like there to like mess with them. They don't want to be messed with, especially here in New Hampshire. People are they are big into their privacy, and it is not even, it's not personal. They might even be voting for Ron Paul, but they don't necessarily want you on their porch. So what do you do with somebody that doesn't really want to have a conversation? How do you open them up?
Well, again, you don't come right out with, you don't show all your cards. You don't walk up and say, hi, I'm canvassing for Ron Paul. Because then they're like, Ron Paul, screw him, I'm not voting for him, goodbye. You just say that you're canvassing, and then you engage them in conversation. I'm out canvassing for the upcoming presidential primary. Are you registered to vote? Oh yes, I'm registered, and you go into that, and you start asking them what issues are important to you, and draw them out that way, and then find out if they have a candidate, find out what issues are important to them, and then say, well, have you heard of Ron Paul? Very few people have not heard of Ron Paul. That campaign has been spending our money up here, so very few people have not heard about Ron Paul. So they've heard of him, they've heard his name. Oh, but I don't know that much about him. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the issues that he's involved with, and you just, you know, roll on from there. I've had people, you know, open the door. I haven't got time to talk now. You know, I'm just about to sit down to dinner. Okay, great. I didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to make sure that you're registered to vote. But yeah, I'm registered. Okay, great. And do you have a candidate that you like? Yes, I do. Oh, would you mind telling me who that is? Well, no, I don't really want to say. That's private. Okay, well, have you heard about Ron Paul? Just go into that, and they'll go, oh yeah, Ron Paul. You know, I was kind of thinking about, I was considering Tancredo. Oh, well, what do you like about Tom Tancredo? How does he address the issues that are important to you? And you just, oh, well, he's really strong on border security and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, nobody's got a better record of border security than Ron Paul, so that's a slam dunk. Plus, you pull out this, only one guy's going to protect their freedoms. Yeah. You know.
Right. Well, a lot of people, they when they like a candidate, they have there's really a soft support there.
Yes.
That they like a candidate just because of an impression they have about the candidate.
That's right.
And so they don't really know what the candidate stands for in that. And so how do you bust a myth about somebody's candidate without getting into an argument, without making them feel defensive in any way, but just gently just say, hey, you know, maybe there's another option?
In general, you just talk to them. You have to have a genuine interest in the people that you're talking to. They're people just like you, and you just, like I've been saying, you just develop a rapport, and you don't fight with them. You said yourself, Wes, that most of these people, most of the support that the other candidates have is paper thin. I mean, you just touch it, and it deflates and falls apart like a house of cards.
Right.
So it's just a soft sell.
Tell me about that. There's a lady that you talked to, and she was going to vote for Giuliani, and then remember her husband was a veteran. How did that go?
She didn't really want to talk. A lot of people had been coming to her door or calling her on the phone, and you know, she was going to vote for Giuliani. Okay, great. You know, congratulations on having made a decision. You know, what do you like about Giuliani? Oh, I just really like, you know, his stance on the war on terror and you know, things like that. And he's, you know, I think he would do a good job of protecting the country. This took a little bit of time with this woman because what you have to do is educate them. People don't understand why terrorism is occurring. They buy into Bush's BS that they hate us because we're free. Never minding that there are other countries that are way more free concerning things that are irritable to Islam, like drugs, prostitution, alcohol, that are much less defended and a hell of a lot closer to the Middle East and therefore more convenient to attack than the United States. You know, all the Scandinavian countries come to mind. So you can't lecture them, but you have to persuade them, and you have to, again, have a conversation and say, you know, this is just my opinion. I've studied on this quite a little bit since September 11th because the instinct of self-preservation is so strong in human beings. I mean, you would agree with that, right? People go, oh yeah, of course. You say, well, there's got to be something. There has to be a catalyst. There has to be something to galvanize the desire to actually strap a bomb onto yourself and go blow yourself up somewhere. And I really don't think that they hate us because we're free. I yeah, but you have to keep a straight face because again, these people are not stupid.
No, yeah, exactly. You know, you are making a very reasonable statement.
Yeah,
and it's not a joke, but you're having to bust a myth gently.
Right, and you go into, you know, 15 of the 19th September 11th hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is an extremely repressive regime. And what I found out is that the United States actually supports Saudi Arabia. We give them money and we give them technology to keep their people suppressed. And what I found out is that we've been meddling in Middle Eastern politics since the early 50s. Assassinations, coups, overthrowing democratically elected governments, stuff like this, and they hate us for it. Then take the people and put them in their place, but use yourself to be the bad guy. You know, I try and consider how we would feel. What if China came over here and overthrew the government? Well, you know, and then I go, well, we'd probably be happy that they got rid of Bush because everybody hates Bush. Yeah. Probably happy that we got rid of Bush, but after that, what if they were, you know, what if there were Chinese soldiers that were marching patrols down our streets and telling us how to live? I'd go. I know what I'd do. I'd go home and get out a gun. I'd start shooting Chinese. And people go, yeah, well, that seems reasonable. And I go, so I don't condone what is going on in the war. I don't condone people shooting at American soldiers, but I understand. And if we followed this, I mean, this is your trump card, man. You can't argue with this. People cannot argue with this. If we followed this and a policy of non-intervention, we wouldn't be in this mess. Did you know that we have 250,000 troops on 700 bases in 130 countries around the world? Most people don't even know that there are more than 130 countries. I'm serious, and they get blown away. And you're saying it costs us $1 trillion a year. And if we brought those people home and quit pissing off people in other nations, they wouldn't have as much of a reason to want to fly planes into buildings. And people go, wow, yeah. It's like, so you've led them to consider the root cause of why this terrorism is occurring.
Right.